Today, we're reviving 12 ghostly legends from Connecticut, stories of restless spirits and haunted places. Number 1. White Lady of Union Cemetery. The Union Cemetery in Easton, Connecticut is home to one of the most famous ghost stories in the state, the legend of the White Lady. Dressed in a long, flowing white gown, this spirit has been seen wandering near the graveyard and sometimes even stepping into the road late at night. Many drivers have slammed on their brakes, thinking they've hit a woman, only to find no one there. The sightings go back decades, and even some police officers have claimed to see her. Locals believe the White Lady might be the ghost of a woman buried in the cemetery, possibly someone who died in the 1800s under tragic circumstances. Others think she may have been murdered or lost her child, and now she searches endlessly. Paranormal researchers, including famed investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, visited the cemetery and claimed to capture her on film. Her presence is usually calm, though the mystery surrounding her adds to the eerie mood. The cemetery itself is old, quiet, and surrounded by tall trees, creating the perfect setting for ghost stories to grow. While most people only see her for a split second, the stories remain consistent. Always the white dress, always the pale face, always silent. She doesn't seem threatening, just lost, and perhaps still waiting for peace. Her legend has turned Union Cemetery into one of the most haunted spots in New England. To this day, people still leave flowers and notes at the cemetery, and some even camp out in hopes of seeing her. But whether she appears or not, the story of the White Lady continues to haunt the roads and imagination of anyone who passes through Easton after dark. Number 2. Green Lady of Burlington. In the quiet woods of Burlington, Connecticut, a small forgotten cemetery holds a ghostly secret. Known as the Green Lady, this spirit is said to rise from the old stones of the Seventh-day Baptist Cemetery. Witnesses report a glowing green figure floating through the trees, sometimes watching from a distance, other times moving silently through the mist. Her glowing appearance gives her the name, but her story gives her sorrow. Locals say the Green Lady may be the ghost of a woman named Elizabeth Palmer, who lived nearby in the 1800s. The tale tells that her husband went missing, and she wandered into the swamp to search for him, only to drown in the cold, muddy water. Since then, her spirit is said to rise from the ground, still searching, her glow lighting up the forest on foggy nights. The cemetery itself is small, with most headstones cracked, fallen, or hidden by overgrown grass. It sits back from the road, deep enough into the woods that many pass by without ever seeing it. But those who do find it say the place carries a chill, even on warm days, and the feeling of being watched is hard to ignore. The Green Lady isn't known to harm anyone. She's simply a reminder of a long-lost story, of heartbreak frozen in time. To this day, visitors report odd lights, cold spots, and strange sounds, keeping the legend alive and the mystery of Burlington's glowing ghost unsolved. Number 3. Red Eyes of Union Cemetery. While the White Lady may be the most famous ghost of Union Cemetery, she's not the only spirit haunting its grounds. A more terrifying figure is said to dwell in the darker corners of the cemetery, known only as Red Eyes. Witnesses have described seeing a pair of glowing red eyes staring at them from the trees or rising above the gravestones. Unlike other sightings, this ghost doesn't appear fully formed, just the eyes, floating in the dark, watching. The legend of red eyes has been whispered for decades. Some say the spirit belongs to a man who was buried without a proper funeral, while others believe it could be something darker, perhaps not even human at all. Local lore claims that those who see the eyes often feel a wave of fear, followed by intense cold, as if something is standing directly behind them. Many have reported hearing heavy breathing or whispers when no one else was around. Ghost hunters and thrill seekers have been drawn to Union Cemetery hoping to witness the phenomenon. Some claim their cameras stop working near the spot where the eyes appear. A few say they've captured strange orbs or glowing shapes in their photos, but no one has been able to fully explain the red eyes. The late Ed and Lorraine Warren once called Union Cemetery one of the most haunted places in America, and the red eyes legend is part of the reason why. Whether it's a restless spirit, a warning from beyond, or something else entirely, the red eyes of Union Cemetery continue to frighten those who dare visit after sundown. The mystery remains unsolved, but the stories persist. Because once you've seen those glowing eyes, you don't forget them. Number 4. Midnight Mary. In New Haven's Evergreen Cemetery lies one of the most unsettling graves in Connecticut, the resting place of Mary E. Hart, better known as Midnight Mary. According to legend, Mary was mistakenly declared dead in 1872 and buried alive. When the family realized the error, it was too late. Some say that when her coffin was opened, there were scratch marks on the inside lid, as if she had tried to escape. That moment sparked one of New England's most chilling ghost stories. Mary's gravestone stands out from the rest. It bears the eerie inscription, "The people shall be troubled at midnight and pass away." The quote alone is enough to unsettle visitors, but it's the stories that followed that truly haunt. Locals say Mary now roams the cemetery at midnight, appearing in a long black dress with pale skin and sorrowful eyes. Some believe she's searching for the people who failed her. Others think she's simply stuck between worlds, unable to rest. Over the years, those brave enough to visit the grave at midnight have shared unsettling experiences, feeling watched, hearing whispers, or seeing a shadowy figure move among the stones. Some report their phones or flashlights flickering or shutting off near her grave. Even during the day, Evergreen Cemetery holds a heavy silence around Mary's tombstone, as if the earth remembers what happened. Mary remains one of Connecticut's most powerful ghost legends, a tragic tale of fear, folklore, and the mystery of what really happened after her final breath. Number 5. Hannah Cranna, the Witch of Monroe. In the quiet town of Monroe lived a woman named Hannah Cranna, known by many as the Witch of Monroe. She never hid from the nickname. In fact, she seemed to embrace it. In the 1800s, neighbors whispered that Hannah had powers. After her husband died mysteriously by falling off a cliff, despite being an experienced walker, many believed she had cursed him. No one ever proved anything, but people grew wary. Over time, strange stories piled up. One tale says that when a farmer refused to share his fresh-baked pie with her, his crops suddenly failed. Another told of travelers who mocked Hannah, and then became lost for hours, walking in circles. Whether these events were just coincidence or something more, folks in Monroe eventually learned not to cross her. She lived alone, with a flock of chickens, and was always seen wearing dark clothing and a wide-brimmed hat. Before she died in 1859, Hannah left strict instructions. She wanted to be buried at sunset in her casket with no delay. But when the townspeople ignored her wishes and waited until morning, her funeral wagon refused to move. The horses reared back, the wheels got stuck, and it took hours to transport her body. Only after following her original request did the ground seem to accept her. To this day, some believe Hannah Cranna's spirit still lingers around her old homestead. Strange sounds and flickering lights have been reported in the area, and many claim she still watches over Monroe, especially if someone shows disrespect. Number 6. Black Dog of the Hanging Hills. High above Meriden, the rocky ridges of the Hanging Hills hold one of Connecticut's most mysterious legends. Locals speak of a small black dog that appears to hikers without warning, completely silent and friendly in its approach. It's not just any stray. The legend says seeing the dog once brings joy, seeing it twice brings warning, but seeing it a third time means death. The story stretches back to the 1800s, when a geologist named W.H.C. Pynchon recorded the tale in a scientific journal. He had seen the dog twice, once with no trouble, and again with a sense of unease. But when he returned with a colleague who had already claimed 2 sightings, the man suddenly fell to his death after spotting the black dog once more. That chilling event gave new weight to the superstition. Over the years, hikers, climbers, and even scientists have reported spotting the dog. It doesn't bark. It doesn't leave tracks. It simply appears, tail wagging, before vanishing into the trees or stepping behind a boulder, never to be seen again. Those who believe say the dog is a spirit guide, one tied to the cliffs themselves. The Hanging Hills remain a popular destination, but for those who know the legend, there's always a bit of nervousness when a small black dog crosses their path. Whether the creature is a ghost, omen, or guardian, its presence leaves a lasting impression and a quiet hope that you don't meet it 3 times. Number 7. Ernie, the ghost of New London Ledge Lighthouse. Just off the coast of New London, the red brick ledge lighthouse stands alone in the waters where the Thames River meets the sea. Built in 1909, it served for decades as a beacon for passing ships. But according to local legend, the lighthouse is haunted by a ghost named Ernie, a former keeper who met a tragic end. As the story goes, Ernie was heartbroken after his wife left him for a ferry captain. One night, in his sorrow, he jumped to his death from the tower into the dark waves below. After Ernie's death, strange things began happening. Coast Guard crews stationed at the lighthouse reported eerie activity, doors slamming by themselves, tools vanishing and reappearing, and footsteps echoing when no one was upstairs. Radios would play on their own, and cold drafts swept through closed rooms. While no one could explain it, most believed Ernie never left and still walked the halls, quietly keeping watch. In the 1980s, the lighthouse became fully automated, but the ghost stories never stopped. Maintenance workers claim to hear voices and feel unseen eyes watching them. Some boaters even reported glimpses of a man standing in the window, staring out across the water. Though no one has ever been harmed, the stories have continued for decades, each one adding to Ernie's legend. Today, the New London Ledge Lighthouse is known as one of the most haunted places on Connecticut's coast. Tour guides and paranormal researchers still speak of Ernie with quiet respect. Whether it's a flicker in the window or a chill in the air, many believe he's still there, loyal to his post, long after his shift should have ended. Number 8. Annabelle the Cursed Doll. In a glass case at the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, sits one of the most infamous objects in paranormal history, Annabelle the Cursed Doll. Unlike the porcelain doll shown in movies, the real Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann, soft and stitched, with a red yarn smile. But beneath her harmless appearance, the Warrens believed, was something dark and dangerous. In the 1970s, 2 nursing students received the doll as a gift. Soon after, strange things began happening, notes written in childlike handwriting, furniture moving, and the doll seemingly shifting positions when no one was around. A psychic claimed the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle was attached to the toy, but the Warrens believed it was no child at all, rather a demonic entity using the name to trick the living. The Warrens took the doll and locked it in a special case, surrounded by prayers and warnings. Over the years, visitors to the museum who mocked or challenged the doll sometimes left in fear or even suffered accidents afterward. One man reportedly died in a motorcycle crash after taunting Annabelle just hours before. Today, the museum is closed to the public, but Annabelle's legend lives on. Whether you believe in curses or not, the story of a simple cloth doll causing chaos, fear, and even tragedy continues to haunt Connecticut's paranormal history. And many believe that as long as she remains undisturbed, she will stay contained, but only barely. Number 9. Lindley Street Poltergeist. In 1974, a quiet neighborhood in Bridgeport, Connecticut, became the center of national attention. At 966 Lindley Street, the Gooden family reported terrifying events inside their small home. Chairs moved on their own, objects flew across rooms, and strange banging sounds echoed through the walls. The activity was so intense that police officers, firefighters, and even the press witnessed the chaos firsthand. At first, no one could explain what was happening. Television sets turned on and off by themselves. Crucifixes swung violently on the walls. A heavy refrigerator was said to slide across the kitchen floor on its own. Even seasoned officers admitted to seeing things they couldn't believe, like a levitating couch and a cat that reportedly spoke human words. The family's daughter, Marcia, was often at the center of the disturbances. Some investigators suspected a hoax, but others pointed to a classic case of a poltergeist, an unseen force attracted to emotional energy. For a time, the house was swarming with paranormal investigators, curious neighbors, and reporters. The story made headlines across the country. Eventually, the activity quieted, and the family moved away. While skeptics remain, many still believe something unexplainable happened at Lindley Street. Today, the house looks ordinary, but its past remains one of Connecticut's most documented and chilling tales of a possible haunting. Number 10. Haunting in Connecticut. In the late 1980s, the Snedeker family moved into a modest-looking house in Southington, Connecticut, seeking to be closer to the hospital where their son was receiving cancer treatment. But they quickly discovered something was very wrong. Objects moved on their own, strange shadows appeared in mirrors, and loud voices echoed through empty rooms. The family soon learned the house had once been a funeral home with a history of questionable practices. The Snedekers claimed they were attacked by unseen forces. Their son began speaking in strange voices and describing horrific visions. Doors would slam without warning, lights flickered constantly, and a heavy, oppressive feeling filled the air. The family believed that the spirits of the dead had never truly left. They even found mortuary tools hidden in the basement, a chilling reminder of the house's past. Desperate for help, the family contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous paranormal investigators. The Warrens claimed the house was infested with demons and that it had become a gateway for evil. Their involvement brought national attention, and the story became the inspiration for books and a Hollywood film. But not everyone believed the tale. Some neighbors questioned the events, and skeptics said the family exaggerated what happened. Still, the Snedeker house remains one of the most talked about hauntings in Connecticut history. Whether it was a case of true horror or overactive imagination, the legend refuses to fade. Number 11. Captain Kidd's Cursed Treasure. Off the coast of Milford lies Charles Island, a small patch of land shrouded in mystery and legend. Locals say the island is cursed, thanks to none other than the infamous pirate Captain William Kidd. In the late 1600s, just before his capture, Kidd is said to have buried a portion of his treasure on the island, hoping to return one day. But he never made it back. Soon after, strange occurrences began to plague the island. Sailors and treasure hunters who ventured too close often met with disaster. Boats capsized in calm water, equipment mysteriously failed, and some people vanished without a trace. Over the years, multiple attempts to find the treasure have ended in failure and misfortune. Some say the island is guarded by a phantom, perhaps Kidd himself, while others blame an ancient curse placed upon the land long before the pirate arrived. Charles Island's dark reputation only grew stronger as the years passed. During the 19th century, it was used as a resort, a monastery, and even a fish hatchery, but none lasted long. Storms destroyed buildings, fires broke out unexpectedly, and the land seemed unwilling to be tamed. Stories spread of ghostly figures roaming the island at night, and a terrible sense of dread that never lifted. Today, Charles Island remains uninhabited and protected, but its legend is very much alive. Visitors walking along Silver Sands Beach at low tide can cross the sandbar to the island, but they're warned not to stay too long. Some believe that disturbing the island stirs up the curse, and those who try to claim Kidd's treasure may find more than they bargained for. Number 12. Phelps Mansion, Poltergeist. In 1850, Reverend Eliakim Phelps moved into a grand home in Stratford, Connecticut, with his family. The mansion was meant to be a peaceful retreat, but what followed became one of the most famous poltergeist cases in American history. Not long after settling in, the family began experiencing odd disturbances. Objects flew across rooms, furniture was overturned, and loud knocking sounds came from the walls. One of the most chilling discoveries was the appearance of strange dolls, crudely made figures that would show up arranged in disturbing positions. Sometimes they were set around a table, other times placed in beds, mimicking the family. Reverend Phelps, a respected member of the community, was baffled. The activity seemed centered around his children, especially his son, and the events grew more intense by the week. Some believed the children were behind it all, playing elaborate pranks, but others who visited claimed to witness the strange events themselves. Doors slammed violently, heavy footsteps echoed through the halls, and cold breezes swept through sealed rooms. No explanation could be found, and eventually the Phelps family moved away, hoping to leave the terror behind. Though the original mansion is long gone, the legend remains. The Phelps haunting is often mentioned in books about early American ghost stories. Historians still debate what happened. Was it a true haunting or clever trickery? Either way, the tale of the poltergeist at Phelps Mansion continues to send chills through Stratford's history. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.